Welcome to the next talk. After the previous one, I feel that I don't understand security well enough, so I wonder how I can survive in this for so many years. We will be talking about why usual pen tests suck, but I will share with you a story that it can be different.
Please, can you speak more loud? A little bit.
I will try to speak louder. May I? Level 1?
Definitely.
Yeah? Please, thank you. Usual pen tests are limited. The customer asks you to test his network security, but only from the outside, only through the services that are publicly available. And nowadays, they are pretty much secure. Sometimes he even asks you to test only one web application, and that is the one that he values the most, and he has put already enough money into it, so that one is secure enough already. I have a story where it was different. I helped my friends at the company Rolken to do an engagement that started with a request. From a totally new customer, they received an email, can you test for us not only network security, but also social engineering through email and phone calls, and also physical security. It was very well written, so I said to them, well, we definitely want to cooperate with this guy. He knows what he wants. This will be awesome. During the network scanning and identifying of the services that he runs, we saw that he runs an on-cloud instance. Who knows what is on-cloud? Cool. So this customer used on-cloud to share files with external partners. It is still better than using Uložto, the Czech rapid share. My favorite way how to hack anything is by guessing passwords. It's easy, it's fast. I wanted to do this here, but I didn't know the logins. You need login to guess password. We found a zero-day vulnerability in one of the plugins that this customer had, and we could identify which logins are online at the moment. So after some time, after hours of waiting, we could gather enough login names. Now I will not move anymore. Once you have the logins, the passwords were easy to guess. So we got tens of valid combinations. With this, we could upload files to their server. We could download files that were on the server already, but we couldn't run our code on the server. We continued further. We developed some scripts that we used when we called the employees of that company directly. We asked the employee a few questions, and then we asked the important questions. Which brand of antivirus do you use? And one of them said, I don't know, but my network administrator is right at the end of the hall. Let me check it out. And I said, no, thank you. If they say they don't know, we shared a tool with them that will automatically submit this information for us. He said, I will upload this to OnCloud, just run it. So this was trustworthy or trustable because it was at the domain of our customer. We continued with other vector that was sending infected documents through emails. These documents contained DDE or macros. It depends on what the what they used as antivirus. We used job applications. We signed up for some job. But we didn't get any connect back from the company. So my guess is that they didn't even open the documents. So if you ever wonder why you don't get any response from the companies when you apply for a job, then this might be the reason. We had another success via password guessing. We could collect a lot of emails of the employees from the web and develop the structure of the login, right? It's usually consisting of surname and name and some pattern. But we had specific emails and knew the logins. If you have one login and guess passwords via a word list attack, so you use simple passwords, you may end up locking up the account after 3 or 5 attempts, let's say. That's common at when they use Microsoft Active Directory or some policy. So we used something else. We used one password and many logins. This way, the logins do not get locked out. And we can also use a complicated password that has uppercase characters, lowercase characters, and numbers, which is, let's say, winter 2018. Many people will change their password to this password in the near future. This way, we could gain access to email, corporate email, and also to intranet through other web. What could we find in the emails? The security guy who ordered us, he sent a mass email to all of the employees with information about the flash drive that they got from the company, and that they are not allowed to use any other USB flash anymore. So that was a surprise for us because we ordered nice pink flash drives from Alza, and we planned to put them on the parking lot, put them at the reception, that with the story, okay, we found this when we walked with a dog, and this, isn't it yours? And this wouldn't work out, probably. So we returned them to Alza. We got access to the intranet, so we found there what security measures they use, how the network is organized, how the building is organized, and we try to test the physical security. How did it look outside? The building was in the middle. Around that was a parking lot. Then there was a fence. We saw that at Google Maps, right? Satellite view. Then there were gardens of some houses, and then there were those houses. So we had to go through. I was imagining, okay, I want to put my USB flash drives with my programs on the parking lot, or maybe get inside if I will be lucky, use some lockpicking, right? So we saw, okay, there is this parking lot, there is a small fence, there is a garden. Let's pretend that I am putting leaflets of Bila, the shop, into the post boxes. I didn't want to use lockpicking, right, at some houses that don't belong to that company. So let's go there inside, let's pretend this, walk through the garden, jump over the fence, or just, if it's too high or it's not possible, then I will just throw the USB flash drives over the fence. But when I went inside, and it still was difficult to get inside any of the houses, the wall was like 4 meters high, or I don't know, it was impossible. But from satellite, it looked really small. So, whatever. I have to laugh about these photos. These are the penetration testers with a diploma from Charles University. They dive in the trash. So the customer was surprised by this. Any question? Any? Hackers movie. Thanks. The customer was really surprised by this. He said, the trash bins, they were locked, right? All of them are locked. Yes, no, one of them was open because we went there at the time when the cleaning ladies, they put the last big bags of trash into that. And we did our preparation for this. We knew when the time is. It was in the evening, right? So we took whatever looked like a paper and our colleagues, they put it together at home, and they found documentation from the alarm system. So there were other vectors and other questions from the customer how to get inside. So we couldn't use the fence, we couldn't use lockpicking. Let me share a story about this. This is from another engagement. We traveled a few hundreds of kilometers to the venue, to the facility of another customer, and we were not allowed to touch or test anything. Inside the building, there was a computer that was overseeing the whole facility. It's like a dispatcher. There was some. If it doesn't work, then many people are not happy that the facility is not working. But we are not allowed to test it. There were some windows on it, but we were allowed only to test some fiber optic interface. And we even had to wait for the permission once we were there with all the workers from the facility. They were probably curious to look at us, how we do look like or something. We were there actually to build trust with them, right? To get to know each other. So I understand this was the first meeting, no problem. But I wanted to use the time. And I said, okay, let's check out which locks do they use here. So next time we will be prepared, maybe to prepare special lockpicks or something like that. And we went downstairs, and the workers, they went outside, locked the door twice, and show me what you got. It's like, okay. So I prayed and then opened it, and to my surprise and their surprise, and inside there are no other doors that are locked. So I have access to the computer if I come there during day when they are not there. So that was not possible here. This building, back to the first story, back to the first customer, it's guarded all the time. We saw that in the documents that 2 people are required to be at the reception all the time. Maybe if one needs the bathroom or walks around the building, whatever. If you want to go to the parking lot by a car, you pass one gate, human checks you at the reception, then you have a card, there is another barrier that opens, and there is a camera that scans the license plate of the car. So we thought, okay, not possible here. So we used the reception. My friend went there and used tailgating, which is one person goes inside, and if you have a lot of things in your hands like papers and a jacket, maybe a bag, then that person might be willing to help you to get inside. So he tried this. There was a barrier, but it was not possible because the barrier was the tourniquet one. So only one person at a time. So he tried his card. It was some random card from some consulting engagement. He was in a suit, so it looked like, okay, I'm working or meeting here somewhere. That didn't work, obviously. So he asked the lady that went through, oh, can you help me? And she said, no, I cannot open this twice because if I would have to first leave, and if I want to leave, then I have to put an option, like I'm leaving for a doctor or some reason. Okay, so that doesn't work. Okay, what else? Okay, let's go to the reception and ask for a guest card. So he went, and the receptionist asked, who are you meeting with? And he was unprepared, but he had those papers printed out. And there was some presentation, and he read the name. The name was the boss of the company. Good, so I will call the assistants. So one of the assistants went down to meet him. He received a guest card, and he could walk through the barrier. Wow. The assistant was very busy and she was interrupted at work. So she said right away, you don't have a meeting with the boss. Well, yeah, sorry, maybe my colleague screwed it up. Maybe I should call them, something like that. She was busy, so she went upstairs to finish her work and he was left inside, behind the barrier. So he put some his stuff like jacket on a table, and then he went to bathroom. The receptionists could see him. He came back from the bathroom and the receptionists were not there. So he took the stuff and went inside the building. First hall, next building. He walked through all of the buildings of this customer, and he met a guy. He saw that eye contact and the reaction, but my friend didn't know this guy. So he thought, he probably knows me from the contract, from our CVs. That must be the security guy who ordered us. So they had this eye contact exchange, information exchange. So we provided them different scenarios too, because sometimes you are prepared that you know about information like which USB flash drives they're allowed to use. So we could put them, he put their special USB flash drives near printers, at bathrooms, on the halls. But they wanted also to know what can an attacker achieve without any hacking skills. So this was also something that was without technology that he can get inside. What did we achieve? It was the access to OnCloud, and we could store files that were on the domain of the customer. We could infect end user stations through the call and through social engineering. We could enter the building. But most important was that we had a customer who was happy about the results. And we built a relationship with him, so he ordered us again. In this engagement, customer knew what he wanted. It was not limited to a really small scope. Just test this and don't touch anything else because it might be vulnerable, so you would have it. And when we wanted to broaden the test, he didn't limit us. So we were also happy with this test. If the time and Jano allows us to ask questions, then you can ask questions.
Yeah, I'd like to ask. I believe there was some brainstorming before you moved to action. Is there something you considered but didn't even in the final steps do? Like.
Yes. So the question was if we skipped any other ideas that we had. Yes, there were many, and I forgot to put a photo of our blackboard or whiteboard that had those ideas. There were really plenty of them. We didn't do some fire company. The firemen usually check if the devices are okay, like once per time, and there's those signs that it's not tampered with. So, but then through some research, we found that there is a specific company doing this, and it's only in specific months, and we had to finish this test quickly, like within really short time. So we didn't do this, and also other stuff. So our whiteboard looked like a lot of ideas, and they were struck through. Like we cannot do so many of them. We are a limited number of faces, so if we go through the reception with one face, then it's used. And so we just used some of them so that we could cover that without information, with information. Skilled attacker, not skilled attacker, medium or low skilled attacker.
And did you gather enough information from the passive reconnaissance? I mean, like job sites, archive.org, and you know, all those things like social networks, Instagram, Facebook, and so on about the company, because I believe this could bring some good information to the pool of shared meaning. Information.
Yes, definitely. The question was if we could gather through OSINT enough information. Yes. Version of the operating system, because some contract or some reference of companies that was publicly available, emails and numbers. The contacts even included like which building, which room number they use. So when we called, we tried to not call two different people in the same room, or someone who is in the same room as the network administrator or whoever works with computers more professionally. So.
Go on, you ask. Go on. Okay. How long did it take, and how many people did work on this job?
4 people. How many people worked, and how long did it take? It was 1 month, 4 people. So we worked during weekends. We had to adjust like what is happening during weekend at the venue, whatnot. We traveled also, so we. I have some video where the ice was falling down. I wanted to go with the leaflets. So it was very good that we had this team, because some of the people are able to work with the details and walk through the emails. So my colleague was able to scan the emails and look what is sensitive there, or go through the intranet documents and find valuable information in it. Other team was able to program stuff, so we could gather those email addresses. Another one was able to do this social engineering, just to walk through the reception. You have to be talented in this. So that's it. A really good team.
Okay. Your favorite OSINT tool, like the number one for you.
So my favorite OSINT tool, yeah, Google. Also, you can, yes, Google. On IP addresses, you want to know different virtual names. That at that time I used Bing. I think it's good to script something. My colleague was best. They could gather information where I could not. So it's a good team. It's basic.
About word list, do you use some generic word list or country specific, or do you always generate a word list specific for the company?
So what word list do I use? Country specific or generate or general? It depends on the service that you want to attack. It needs. I adjust usually the size. I use a word list of only 100 common. That is really old word list. 100 common passwords. It can be English. If the customer is in another country, then I use their word list. It might be different. That's true. It's possible to generate them from the web page. So I think the tool is called Cruel. It downloads the numbers pardon. It downloads words from the website and uses as a word list. Usually, I am limited by the speed. If it's online, then web application doesn't allow like a speed like maybe it's 2,000 tries per minute, then it's fast. But sometimes it's 1 per second, so only small word list. In this case, there was this other method, right? One password, many logins, and it's iterating. Like if I usually start with a small word list and go to a bigger one. It's always difficult to know if the password, if the login is locked or not. So, you know probably. Yes.
Did the company fix something that you reported it, or did they hire you again to validate the fixes?
If whether the company fixed the stuff. Yes, they did. They did even rebuilt the reception there, and they included a guest area.
Pretty good.
So yes, they were awesome.
Do you or your team have any story of being caught by security? Or what do you say? This is a Pentest?
If we caught by some security or some, what do we say? We were prepared with a paper that was signed by the security guy and I think the director, so the boss, and we didn't use it here. So maybe next time we will be more crazy and get caught intentionally because I don't know.
Did you also have the fake list with fake signature?
Fake list with fake signature? Not yet. Not yet. We were next time.
Jason A. Street was talking about this, that he always brings also fake lists with fake signatures, and when someone calls him, he shows him the list, and mostly they will just let him.
Yeah, that works. We thought like there is written we can use this until this month or this day, and we just. This is just a paper. If we change it, and we can use it anytime. Okay, but there was a phone. There was a phone number, so they could call a security guy, and maybe they would be careful and call the right number, not the number that's on the paper, right? The employees had their numbers in the contacts list because we were calling the employees, and we are pretending we are the IT support. And one lady we called, she didn't, and we faked the outcoming, the numbers, right? So it looked like we really call from the headquarters, from the IT support. And poor lady, she didn't understand it even afterwards. So the IT support was explaining, no, there were just some people that did nasty stuff to you. And she was, oh, so Jirka wanted to do nasty stuff to me? so yes?
In other cases, do you even use rainbow tables for cracking databases, or is it the dead end and you use tools like Hashcat for cracking databases?
So whether we use rainbow tables or its tools. Yes, we use. I rescued one of my family members. I helped them with to unlock their machine. So I booted the live CD and I used the rainbow tables. That's something that usually it's possible to use at customers, but it depends. It depends. Maybe sometimes you cannot boot anything, and it depends.
Okay,
Yes.
you mentioned 4 people 1 week, right?
4 people, 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Have you tried to be hired as a regular employee over there?
Whether we try to be as a regular employee there.
For example, at receptions or WhatsApp?
Very good. The reception or whatever. Yes, we through the first research we saw which cleaning company works there, and we thought, okay, let's join this. Maybe we can join the company itself. But we did apply for a real job with, but we didn't. It got
2 skills, right?
that guy had some maybe McDonald's skills. No, it was not really something like. they were afraid to be like that guy will be underpaid or something. No, it was real. That really we expected they will open and communicate with the guy, with us, but they didn't. So it was difficult to get there. We tried. When we also tried to find Airbnb flats around that were high enough so that we could record the keystrokes, but those flats were already taken. They were busy for so even this time is too short for. But it was okay. We finished it. We got. I think it was valuable for the customer anyway.
Are there many requests for such jobs? Like, is there many people who want to be totally hacked, or is this just like once in 2 years and the rest of the time you're just doing very limited strict testing, or you're too busy and you could hire 20 more people and still have?
Yeah, the question is if the test engagements look like this or they are limited.
And how many are there?
And how many are there? Unfortunately, they are limited usually, and it's like a web application test is the most frequent one, or a mobile application test itself is the one. Such a complete test is not really often. It doesn't happen so much. So I hope it will change, but some customers don't want it, and I speculate about reasons. One customer didn't want internal penetration tests, so you sit already in that company, you try to find how quickly you can hack whole network, and he didn't want it because they knew they are vulnerable. So sometimes maybe that's the reason why.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you one more question. You mentioned that there was an external network reconnaissance that you could perform. And could you do even internal, like you will get into the system through some web application and map the whole network and try to do some nasty stuff there?
Please repeat.
Yeah. Did you also do internal network, like you got into the internal network and map there and created the targets that could be vulnerable, try to do some enumeration of the versions running their operating systems, web applications, vulnerabilities, assessment, and so on? We only touched, tried to communicate from the department that we infected to the headquarters, and it looked like we can directly connect to those servers that are really the core servers of the company. So we didn't proceed further. Because we had such a big list of actions to do, and we wanted to cover what we promised. They can order what usually they call internal penetration test, like next round.